Well, we must be live. Hello, everybody. Welcome back once again to the channel. I'm sure everybody will climb in sooner or later. Welcome back to JG's PC Builds. And believe it or not, I missed you guys. I missed you guys a whole lot. I've been just slam busy all week long. It's just been non-stop in and out of the house. Haven't had time much to do anything. But I'll tell you what, you guys want to keep me motivated making these videos and everything else, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Because if you don't, it's not going to keep me motivated enough. And I'm trying to keep motivated. And more of you guys talking to me, more of you guys joining in, more of you guys putting, a little bit of tip-top effort to help me keep motivated, please do. I know you guys seen the title. We got a lot of things to talk about. Right now, I'm just getting my energy back up. It's been a long day for me, and I got in here because I know sooner or later a couple subscribers will get in here and they'll say, hey. But don't forget, get your energy right here. So, you guys wonder what I put into my drinks. My water. That's why I always tell you guys, get your drink. Get your drink and snacks. So that way, when you sit down, you watch the videos, you watch this live stream, you can get in here with all a bunch of energy and be ready to go. Just like me. Just like me. Okay, now we got this out of the way. Whew. Now we gotta go back and talk about what we're gonna talk about. But I'm waiting for you guys to come in here, so I'm gonna give you guys a little bit of time anyway. While we get everything together. I haven't had much time to get anything together today. I'm kind of slacking on about everything. Alright, we're going to talk about Battlefield 6. I've been hearing that they got a benchmark out there for Battlefield 6. I don't know if you guys were looking at that. Let's start there. Let's talk about that. And let's see if we can find any information. Any information about Battlefield 6. So, let me go ahead and get a page open. And there we go. Let's see who's talking about. Let's see what video Cards has to say. Cards.com / battle. I'm sure Video Cards got something to talk about it. Okay, let's go to the action screen and see what we got rolling. And I'm just gonna keep the video going, guys, because I really don't have tremendous time here. I'll blow up my face so that way you guys can see it. There we go. There we go. Now we're on to the game. But we forgot to do one thing. We forgot to make the cursor big. Don't you love how when what do you call it? Microsoft changes crap on you? There, now we got the big cursor back. So I know you guys been missing the big cursor. I'll bring it back to you. Battlefield 6. PC requirements. ARC B580. RTX 3060 Ti. RX 6700 XT. Recommended GPUs. Let's see. EA/DICE confirmed Battlefield 6 will run fine on ARC B580. Now, I wonder why they're pushing the B580. I have yet to see any one of these guys talk about the RTX 4070. They'll push the most crappiest crap out there, but they won't even talk about the 4070. That's disappointing. But you know me, guys, I got a 4070, so I'm not disappointed. It says Battlefield 6 is probably our last hope before Call of Duty starts adding Pokemon skins to their first-person shooter. I wonder what they'll end up adding SpongeBob. You never know. I hope not. That'll be like totally scrupulous. Okay, Machine, you're on your way home. Welcome, bro. We got you. We're just barely getting started. So, drive safe and make sure you buckle in so that way you don't get in trouble with the Popo. The Popo is out there busting people for not wearing a seatbelt. Even though that they make cars out there with exploding shrapnel bags, which they call life-saving bags, called airbags. Yeah, I'm not too happy about that, so I gotta go down to my Ford dealership, tell them, look at this piece of, I would say the S word, but I don't want to get demonetized. I want to keep my videos monetized. So, here's the deal. While Machine's listening to me talk and we're moving on, like I said, Battlefield 6 is probably our last hope before Call of Duty starts adding SpongeBob skins to their first personal shooter. I had to say SpongeBob. Because they said Pokemon, I'll say SpongeBob. The previous game was a letdown for many fans, but often for different reasons. For them, it didn't feel like anything like BF3 or BF4. And this is where we go, boo-hoo-hoo. That's what the company says for Battlefield 6. Which were large-scale warfare shooters with solid mechanics. The upcoming 6 is returning to a similar transformation, time frame. So no more bolt-action rifles or sci-fi equipment, but something more grounded. Probably a 9mm and say be happy with it. Probably. The game is officially available for pre-order. I'm going to tell you guys, let's get down to it. Let's just get down to it. I'm going to tell you like this. Before you go out there and buy a bunch of games, get yourself up some testing suites and make sure your PC is up to standard. Seeming that what they're not telling you is that with Microsoft Windows 11 having a bunch of problems, because Microsoft's cutting stuff out for the X3D processors, gimping your X3D processor. And this is why I'm going to say like this. If you got 32 plus whatever megabytes of cache on an X processor, believe it or not, that's good enough. So you're not gimped by Microsoft's little throwdown with the X3Ds. What do they say? X3D's nuts. That's basically what they're saying. So if you guys can look up the story and see all about it, what Microsoft's talking about. I just got wind of it, what was it, today, by my good old friend Machine. He sent me the information. He said, hey, have a look at this. I had a look at it, and I got the resolution for it. And this is what I pulled up for the resolution. I have to tell you guys, because unless you're a Discord member, that's where you get this information. So if you want to become a Discord member, let us know. Or we'll put a link in the live feed here, so that, you know, in the chat, so that way you guys can click in on it. If not, then you're not going to be able to click in on it. So let's come down to the ball and cheese of this. This says the 3D, I'm just going to read it out to you guys. This says the 3D V-Cache Performance Optimizer driver that delivers through AMD's chipset driver package. All a user need to do was assign a particular title or game by checking the "Remember This is a Game" option inside Xbox bar game settings. So that's one part of it. But the next part would be is for everybody to keep up their drivers and keep them up to date. Okay. Now, if you want your 3D V-Cache to work correctly and you're working with AMD, I would suggest to get your drivers up to date, especially with the 3D V-Cache Performance Optimizer driver, if you're running X3D. But if you're not, and you're running an X processor, I really wouldn't worry about it, because I'm already up to date on all the AMD drivers when it comes to the chipset for my motherboard. Read my lips. For my motherboard. Not yours, mine. So if you want yours up to date, then go to AMD's website. Go get their newest AMD chipset driver for your processor. They'll have your processor in there, the name, and the chipset driver for it. Boom. Or your motherboard. They might have it set to your motherboard. Who knows? Always do your due diligence to make sure you get that correct information. Now you can go to your motherboard manufacturer and get the chipset update drivers, or you can go to AMD and get them as well. So there's two ways to get them. You can get them from AMD or you get them from your motherboard manufacturer. But I don't think the motherboard manufacturers are kind of keeping up on that kind of news for AMD. So maybe it's time to you scroll over to AMD's website and see if you can find it for your motherboard and your processor matched. So this way you get the proper one and you'll be able to get the latest X3D driver update. So that way you don't run into the problem with Microsoft. Now, getting back to Battlefield 6. Battlefield 6. This says pre-order, 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 pre-order. Okay, so BF6 open beta PC specs. Here's the open beta PC specs. Let's go to the minimal. 1080p at 30 FPS, low settings. Right here. The GPU, the NVIDIA RTX 2060. The AMD Radeon 5600 XT. Intel Arc A380. Video memory 6 gigabytes. CPU Intel Core i5 8400. Let me think. I got an i5 80. I have an i5 8700. But the problem is I have to get a different motherboard for it in order for me to check that. And they got the AMD Ryzen 5 2600 CPU, which I don't have. So I can't test either or. So, moving on. 16 gigabytes of dual channel 2133 megahertz. Which I got more than that. OS Windows 10 minimal. DirectX 12. Why are they saying DirectX 12 when they're having driver issues with the B580 on DirectX 12? Makes no sense. Storage 75 gigabyte hard drive at launch. Nobody uses the regular standard hard drives anymore. How about SSD? Okay. Required. Why is this a requirement? TPM 2.0 enabled. Oh, this is going to suck. UEFI secure boot enabled. It's definitely going to suck. HVCI capable and VBS capable. Guys, don't throw them away. But if you don't, it looks like if you don't have a certain type of CPU, certain type of minimal on the GPU or anything, this benchmark's not going to work for you. It will not work at all for you. So if you got a 4 gigabyte card, throw it in the dumpster. No, don't throw it in the dumpster. You guys know better than that. But it looks like it's not going to work with the 4 gigabyte card. So it's 6 gigabytes or greater on the minimal specs. So the RX 5500 is not going to work that Mr. Machine sent to me. It's not going to work. But you know me, I'm going to try anyway. I got that platform already set up anyway. So, Battlefield 6 is sponsored by Intel, which is why the B580 is a minimal spec. Yeah, and also, too, you got the President of the United States telling the CEO of Intel to quit. He told him to quit his job because the rumor is that the CEO of Intel is supposed to be working with China. So this kind of brings a different light to Intel. So I'm not even dropping Intel into this bucket at this time. Until we find out for clarity on this channel, I'm going to be really clear about this. I'm going to be really clear about this. Until I get personal clarification that this isn't true, that they tell me to my face it's not true, I'm gonna wean away from Intel right now. And I'm sorry about all the fanboys out there. Right now, I am leaning away from Intel. I'm not going to recommend it because of what I heard. It's not what I've actually foreseen in truth, but there's a lot of people talking about this. And I don't think I want to make that focus on this live stream about Intel. So I could give a crap less of who sponsored what. From what I'm hearing, that you got the president telling Intel they should fire their CEO. That's not good. And I heard that from a reliable source. So this is kind of throwing me in. That's the reason why this title is the way it is, because it's upside down. It's upside down about this live stream. This is going to be a very, very devil advocate kind of stream this time around. I'm playing devil's advocate. Hey, MTBK, good to see you, my man. Good to see you. Now, I don't know what kind of crap you all heard about this, but I heard, and I'm going to say I heard, that the President of the United States said that Intel should fire their CEO because he is linked to China. I didn't say the commie word, I just say he's linked to China. That's all I'm going to tell you guys. For my peace of mind, Intel's not going to be barking anywhere anytime soon here until Intel sends me an email stating the case of what's going on in their organization as far as their CEO. And if they lie to me, yeah, I'm going to tell you guys they lied to me. So, as soon as I see that email, I'll be good with it, and I'll confirm it with other people to make sure it's authentic and all that noise. But right now, I'm going to tell you, I'm not going to be talking about Intel until I know for sure that they're not linked to that kind of party. That party's not my kind of party, guys. That's not what my channel is about. My channel's not about, being linked to that kind of party. We are an independent party here. We operate out of the USA. And I'm not ashamed to say it. Some people are. I'm not ashamed to say it. I'm proud where I was born at. I'm pleased to talk to everybody all over the world and where they were born at. We all don't cut down on everybody here about where they're born at. That doesn't matter. We're here to talk about PCs. We're not here to talk about, well, maybe sometimes we do on Discord, but, we keep it real. We definitely keep it real. So if you want to keep it real, then you better get on Discord and join the fun, because if you don't, then you're going to be missing out on everything we talk about daily. And I mean daily. So, if you don't want to miss out on the action, I suggest you become a Discord member, and it's free, and it costs you absolutely nothing. And I always post the link in the live chat, and I always pin the message for everybody to link on our Discord, which I just did that just to let you all know. Okay, back to what we're talking about here. This right here is the problem. Now they're saying this is required for this open beta. This is required. This is bullshit. I mean crap, sorry. This is crap. Why are they putting these specific requirements on when it's not necessary? TPM 2.0 is not necessary. UEFI Secure Boot enabled is not necessary. The HVCI capable and the VBS capable, I can see it. But, you know, requiring your motherboard to be secured, that is the load of crap. And I'm going to tell you, they need to do better when it comes to this game. Because obviously, this game's turning out to be everybody's nightmare. It's like Microsoft again going from Windows 10 to Windows 11. In order to play the game, you gotta do this. You gotta make sure you got pop count, TPM 2.0, UEFI secured, and you have to make sure your processor meets the requirement of the operating system or the games. Pisses me off every time. You put yourself back in the early 90s. Do you see them putting these little bum ass requirements in there? They did. But you think everybody really followed them? No, hell no. Because I know people that run games on older CPUs and older GPUs and still get in on the requirements. And don't even need this. But if they added this into the game, that it's a requirement before it starts, then guess what? I ain't playing it. This game, I will not be playing it anytime soon. I'm just breaking it down to you. I'm breaking it down to you right now. Telling you the real deal. Okay? When you start putting stipulation and requirements on your games about your hardware to software on your own PC, then you're dictating to everybody about their PC and how they can play the game on their PC. You're dictating it to somebody. The only thing you guys should be dictating is minimal system requirements, and it does not include the hardware requirement going from your BIOS to everything else. That's crap. That is crap. I'm telling you guys, it's not... This is the biggest letdown I've ever seen. Speaking of keeping it real, the VTuber award sponsor, We Play, stepped down because whatever that guy's name is had contact with Russian VTubers while they have their roots in the Ukraine. I would imagine. Some say that like ending a boyfriend because he talked to a different girl once. So basically you're telling me that I understand it. I really do understand it. Because truthfully, small channels, they don't give the reward sponsors to anything. Companies don't even see YouTube's small channels at all. Anything that's below 1 million subscribers, these companies don't give a shit less about you. So, don't matter where you are in the world, they don't care. But anyway, getting to this controversy, I'm getting back to it. That was the minimal spec. Now, recommended balance 1440p at 60 FPS, 1080p at 80 FPS, high settings on balance, and performance on 1080p low settings. And the GPU is NVIDIA RTX 3060 Ti, AMD RX 6700 XT, Intel Arc B580, 8 gigabytes of video memory, Intel Core i7-10700, AMD Ryzen 7 3700X, 16 gigabytes of dual channel 3200 megahertz memory, Windows 11 at 64-bit, DirectX 12, 75 gigabytes of solid state drive space at launch, and the same requirements of the TPM 2.0, the UEFI secure boot, the HVCI capable, and the VBS capable. Okay, now we look through all the crap that's on there. While there hasn't been much revealed from the closed beta regarding supportive hardware, we know the game should technically run on relatively low-end potato systems, but by today's standards. Battlefield 6 minimum requirements for 1080p, 30 FPS, including a RX 2060 or 5600 XT. Even Intel's Arc A380 is supported, which is very slow GPU for gaming. The common theme amongst these cards is 6 gigabytes of VRAM. Users looking for higher end experience such as 1440p at 60 FPS with the high settings, or 1080p at 80 FPS on low settings. Get this, 1080p at 80 FPS on low settings. Guys, there's a problem with this. 1080p at 80 FPS on low settings. Think about this very hard. Think about this very hard. So that means that whatever you play at 1080p on low settings, you get 80 FPS. So on medium settings, that means it's going to come down to 70 FPS. On high settings, it might come down to 60. On ultra settings, it might come down to 50 or 40 FPS on 1080p. Even if you got 12 gigabytes of VRAM, maybe. Maybe the 8 gigabyte VRAM might just be like a staple. Maybe. I really think there's something wrong with this. You guys can do your own testing on your own PC with this benchmark and see what it's about. And then you can tell me when you come back on another live stream, or if you've already done it, then let me know what you're thinking now. I haven't tested it yet, so I don't know. I've been on the road for the last couple days. So, let me know what you think. We're going to read. Machine says Discord. Says Discord. Okay, we'll talk about that in a minute, bro. We'll talk about that in a minute. We'll bring it up in a hot minute. No worries. We'll talk about it in a hot minute. Machine. MTBK says, yeah, they sort of became the nationalists and made art political this way, which is exactly what people don't want. I do agree. 8-core CPUs for recommended maybe CPU intensive games. Depends. $80 FPS, no upscaling, low settings on a A380 is not bad. I'm going to tell you like this. Take your current GPU, go run that benchmark, come back and tell me what you think running it at the settings that they're requiring for the minimal. Doesn't matter what graphics card you're running. Just go try it. Just go try it. Come back and tell me if this is worth your time. That's what you need to do. You need to go test it, come back and tell me if it's worth your time. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to run it on a potato, and I'm going to run it with a decent 8GB card, and I'm going to see if it's really worth what they're saying. Because I can tell you right now, I cannot see this disrespecting crap that they put on this PC specs. To me, it's just disrespectful. It's basically telling me that your game is so terrible that you can take it and put a turd out there and everybody can play on it. That's exactly what they're telling us. Or they're insulting the people with better GPUs by putting this minimal requirement, but if you break it down a little bit, does it actually work that way? Or is the game so bad in the graphics that it's causing crashes on certain graphics cards? Nobody's complaining yet, but nobody's testing those certain graphics cards neither. I would imagine. I don't see nobody testing an A580. They're talking about a B580. I don't see nobody testing an A580. I don't see anybody testing a 6600, RX 6600. That's got 8GB of VRAM. You know, I don't see anybody testing a 3050. That's got 6GB of VRAM. Something to think about. If they're saying that you can run these games and they're supported, then they should be supported on those certain graphics cards because they meet the requirements. Just saying. They have a benchmark. I don't know, machine. This is what I know. This is supposed to be an open beta for BattleField 6 benchmark on Steam. So I would imagine so for free. I would imagine so. So, you know, I'm going to risk it, and I'm going to take and turn on Steam, and I'm going to have a cloak and gander. And I'm going to look for Battlefield 6. I'm looking. I typed in Battlefield 6 beta. And what I come up with, nada. I just type in beta and see what I come up with. They got Stargate 2 beta, they got Beta Decay, they got Big Screen, they got Beta Runner. Let's see. Let's try something like this. Battle. Six. Battlefield 6 benchmark. 0 results. Battlefield 6. They got Marvel Rivals for free. They got Make a Break free. The DCS World Steam Edition. But you gotta get $70 up to get Battlefield 6. But I'm sure that's not the new one. This says October 10th, 2025. I guess this is a pre-order kind of thing. That must be the launch date, October the 10th, 2025, guys. That looks like the launch date. So, but if you want to get Mecha Break, it's for free. It kind of looks cool. But we're talking about Battlefield 6. Okay. So, we'll do this. There we go. See, I'm on Steam right now. Battlefield 6. Looks like it's open beta. Join the Battlefield 6 open beta. Looks like you can join the playtest. If you want to try it, it says join the playtest. Machine, you can try it, bro. But I'll tell you what, the pre-purchase is going to be standard edition, $70. The Phantom Edition's $100. So this is okay. This says get to the front line. Battlefield's biggest open beta ever is going live for 2 weekends only, August 9th through the 10th and the 14th through the 17th. Wage war on multiple maps and modes with progression, challenges, and rewards for every playstyle. Fight in high-intense infantry combat all over the globe rip through the skies in aerial dogfights, demolish your environments for strategic advantage, harness complete control over every action and movement using the connect. It looks like a kinesthetic combat system, I guess. In a war of tanks, fighter jets, and massive combat arsenal, your squad is the deadliest weapon. Battlefield 6 has more ways to win than ever before. So, that's just to give you guys a heads up. Gives you the days for early access. Says you can join the play test. So it's not a benchmark. It's actually a part of the game that you can go and test it out. And they're giving you a free play test to do it. So, I don't know. I don't know. But I can tell you this, it does not look that exciting to me. Does not look that exciting, guys. To some people it might look exciting, but to me it doesn't really look that much exciting, so who knows? How's that one guy say? Who knows? Who cares? So, but if you guys are interested in it, you know, it might be something you might be looking into. But I could tell you, using an Intel graphics card, I would. I've already had people tell me about the first edition, the A edition graphics cards from Intel, that the drivers were so bad on DX12 that the only thing they could play was some games on DX11. That's what I hear. So, but also too, I killed two birds with one stone here. One, I let you know about, you know, part of that title that, you know, part of the title of the what's going on was Battlefield 6 and the president talking about wanting to replace the CEO of Intel. So that's two birds with one stone. Now we need to get to the third bird. We need to get to the third bird. And that's called what I should have done yesterday, but I was out of town. That was graphics card nightmares. So this is the third bird, guys. We're going to take you on a little bit of a journey, and I hope you stick around with it, and then we'll talk about it after we get all done. So, I want to take a look on Amazon, Newegg, and Micro Center to see what they got cooking on graphics cards, because I know you guys missed it on Friday, so we're going to do it right now. That's why I mixed this all up and mashed it all up like potatoes. So, since we're mashing it up like potatoes, let's go to Amazon. And see what they got cooking. Let's see, 750 Ti, 4 gigabytes. And you'll be lucky for $80. See, I mean, guys, for $80, if you're going to get a card, save your $80. Tell you that right now. RX 590 GME, They put gem. It's GME. $107. It's 8 gigabytes. It's not, and look at that. They put GPU 8K video card. They put an 8K video card. That's a ripoff. This is not an 8K video card. Nowhere near it. This is basic 1080p. Don't be fooled. 3060 12 gigabyte for $300. If you're going to spend $300, put $80 more with it and get yourself a 16 gigabyte card. What, the 9060 XT 16 gigabyte? 5070 12 gigabyte for $700. Actually, we seen it for $529. Either, I think it was on, or I think it was probably Newegg or somewhere. We'll find it. If it pops up, it pops up. 3050 6 gigabytes for $200. Guys, you're going to spend $200. You might as well throw $180 more and get yourself a better graphics card. Why spend for 6 gigabytes when you can get 16? I'm not pushing 16 gigabytes, but I mean, for $360, 7600 XT, 16 gigabytes. Do you think I'm recommending that card at 128-bit bus? No. I wouldn't even recommend that. Because for $380, 20 bucks more, you can get a card that's got better all the way around. That's newest generation. So don't waste your money on don't waste your money on crap. I mean, that's just be honest with you guys. Don't waste your money on crap. Get the real deal. Get the real stuff. Get something that's going to last you a long time. One time buy and be done. 5070 for $580. Still, I wouldn't pay. I mean, even though that my graphics card has GDR6X, which is close to GDR7, which mine has a 192-bit bus. Okay, just like this one. It's got almost the similar characteristics. But that's for $580. And I paid $19 more than this one. But this one is not overclocked. Oh yeah, it is overclocked. So it's got a 2557 megahertz. Let's see, 2557 megahertz, huh? Interesting. $2520 megahertz. And I'm sitting idle. 2520 megahertz. 2557. Now do you guys see the difference between the two? Not much difference. And you guys can tell me different. I can tell you this. Not much difference. So my performance level on my 4070 is about close to the 5070, but the only difference is the amount of transistors. Now, if I had the same amount of transistors that this card here had, then guess what? Be close to it, be equal to it, and if they gave me the software that uses, put it on the 4070, guys, it's a no-brainer. It's the exact same card. So it's nothing but a 4070 Super with newer memory chips. That's all it is. A 4070 Super with newer memory chips. Nothing special. Moving on. Moving on. Moving on. Moving on. You can see the prices came down a little bit last couple weeks. And this week, prices just going to stay, the prices will stay stagnant until they launch the Super Series. And then they're going to raise the prices up again. Just like they did the last time. Okay. Now we can go to Newegg. So we'll go to Newegg. And we'll see. We'll type in graphics card. So we got a 5060 for $300. We got a 3060 for $250. Ridiculous. We got a 5070 Ti for $850, which is $100 more than MSRP. We got a 9060 XT 16 gigabyte for $370. $370 with 16 gigabytes of VRAM. $389. So, look, 5070, 12 gigabytes, $549. Definitely not $1,500. There we go. You got a waifu Yeston Sakura GeForce RTX 4060 Ti. 16 gigabytes of GDR6. No, I don't think so. Then I might as well go get myself, going back up here, a 9060 XT and take and go and get a body wrap for my GPU and body wrap my GPU to make it look like a waifu card, which you can get body wrap for it. So, nope. $100 off. $100 off. $100 off promo code. Right here. $100 off. Whippy-doo. So, I'm surprised you guys ain't saying much about this. I mean, 9060 XT 380, 9070 XT 400 or 750. I would have said 450 if it was there, and then I'm sure you guys would have got it too. RX 590 GME 2304 SP 109. 5070 Ti 800, 6600 Challenger $220. Don't like this brand. Gigabyte 9060 XT 8 gigabyte for $300. Like I said, 70 more dollars. Go get yourself the 16 gigabyte version. Well worth it at that point. Because you got right here, you got small form factor OC overclock model, 5070 Ti 16 gigabytes for $810. I don't think so. They got whatever that is, a GTX 1660 Super. You guys reading this? It says 1660 Super. That is funny shiz. 1660 Super, 6 gigabytes DDR6, 192 PCIe 3.0 x16. Guess what? DDR6. DDR6. That's funny. That is just super hilarious. Maybe you guys don't see what I'm seeing, but monitors 3x display port plus 1 HDMI port. Oh my God, thank you for spelling that out for us. We didn't know that it had 3 display ports on it and 1 HDMI port on it. I'm sure we all didn't know that about every fucking graphics card in this world does, every freaking graphics card in this world has about the same standard across the board. I didn't mean to get upset about that. My bad. Let's see. Can't spoiler Machines Discord stuff, but I like it. The 9060 XT has a $50 gift card with it. There you go. There you go. Now you got a $50 gift card with it. That's $50 you're going to save. ASRock 9060 XT 16 gigabyte versions start at $373 and $409 over here. And that's over in his country over there. And if he wants to announce it, he'll announce where he's at over on the chat, live chat right here. Because that right there, that's up to him. I'm not going to say it unless he says it's okay. See, I don't announce where everybody's at until they give me the consent for that. That's a part of my prerogative. But anyway, wish your stuff was sorted by price. Maybe with a manual search on PC Part Picker. Here I get the chaos. Yeah, I know, man. I know. I'm just doing this randomized. This is what I see. Look, I'm showing you exactly what I see. Okay? What I see on the screen every time I go through what's on the front page. And this is what shows on the front page. And that's exactly what I show you guys is what's on the front page. This one's got a $30 off promo code. 5070, 12 gigabyte. So 580, that makes that what? 550? Still the same goddamn price. You ain't giving no goddamn, they're not giving you no rebate. It's still around $549, $550. What are they giving you? Absolutely nothing. They're ripping you. That's a rip crap. Promo code, they should have given you $100 off, made that $480. Stop teasing everybody with making it $550 like they can't add and subtract in their head. Come on, man. That's just reality. That is just reality check. Ain't nobody gonna pay that. Bring that down to $600 where it needs to be. Look at this, 9060 XT. Oh, it's got a triple fan and it's white. So it's $420. You know what? I can get a can of spray paint and spray paint my GPU white and put some gloss on it and make it look like it's, you know, showroom finished like a car. Then, you know, maybe the GPU has a chance. Maybe I'll do that one day. I'll take the the shroud off. You know, I'll take it apart, take the shroud off and everything else. And I'll take it, turn around, sand it down, smooth it out. And I'll put a showroom car finish on my GPU. That'll be something. Then everybody's going to want one. Yeah. You get Bondo for plastic. You'll fill in all the craters. You'll do just fine. And you can shape in. See, now if you take that plastic, you put a little bit of Bondo on it, you can take and make little designs in the Bondo and stuff like that, and then spray paint it all white, and then make sure it's nice and smooth, and put a nice car finish, you know, nice clear car finish on your graphics card. And then where you did all the designs, taken traced out with a little bit of black, and then just put a little bit of color in there, and you can make it look like an awesome little waifu card. You can put a waifu character in there, and you can just, you know, stencil it in, and, you know, you want to talk about creativity? There's creativity. So, as if you want to be creative on your graphics card, you can be creative with it, because Bondo will adhere to plastic. Just a little helpful hint, and plus it'll withstand heat as well, so putting it in your PC ain't gonna bother it anytime soon. And putting a car room, I keep saying a car, a showroom finish on a car is like putting it on your graphics card. A showroom finish. You can do it. I've seen people do it many of times. Put a showroom finish on a graphics card to make it look like you can drive it off. You can take it and drive it right outside your door. Put 4 wheels on it and drive it. So, yes, I am gone crazy. And if you don't believe me, just ask my therapist. Thank you. Have a nice day, and be safe, and buckle up for safety. Let's keep moving on. And I'm going to tell you guys this. I am not going to buy any 50 series card. I'm going to tell you why. Because when the 60 series comes out, it's going to look like junk. Because AMD is going to be coming out with, that's been leaked out there, supposedly something that's going to take and blow the doors off the 5090. Something that's going to kind of blow the doors off of the 6090. So if they did something that powerful, probably doubling up a 9070 XT times 2, and if they use GDR7 memory, then they might have a chance at taking the crown from NVIDIA and taking all the gamers with them as well. But the one thing that they're not going to take is this gamer right here, because they don't have Physics X. And I use Physics X, 32-bit. So since they don't have it, I'm not interested in it. We have heard all of this before. Sounds familiar. Yeah, I know, bro. Look, I know. I keep saying it over and over. I know I thought the 50 series was going to be a banger, But you know what? It wasn't. I thought that they were going to talk about the 60 series being a superior banger, and it's not going to be. Okay? We all heard the song and dance with the 7900 XTX when they got on stage at the keynote for AMD and tried to embarrass the hell out of NVIDIA, and turned around, they made a video card that's just the same power as the 4080. But turns around now that when it comes to the newest games, it can't hang with the best. So, the 4090 still carries the crown over the 7000 series. The 5090 carries the crown over the 9000 series. And the Pro 6000 carries the crown overall because it beats the 5090 by 13 or 14%. So, the most powerful card in the world right now is the NVIDIA RTX Pro 6000 series. So far to market and date. That's a workstation card, but has been tested on games, and it's a monster, and it beats the 5090. So that's the most powerful card in the world, is the Pro 6000, but that's $10,000 too. I don't think I'll be buying that anytime soon. So, now it's about AMD, the AMD GPU. That will beat the 69. I know, bro. That's what I just brought up. That's what I just mentioned. But I can tell you right now, it's still not going to beat the Pro 6000 series. I hate to break that to everybody in their ballpark, but it's not. So, it's simple said and put. Unless you got $10,000 to buy a superior graphics card, that's the only way it's going to be the king of the castle. That's the only way it's going to be the king of the castle. You got to have a $10,000 graphics card. So, AMD was supposed to come out with one that would beat the 4090. That was supposed to be the 7950 XTX. And I talked about it in a video over a year and a half ago. It went to production and they killed the production. That's the mystery of this. Why did they kill the production? Well, if we look at if we look at the clock settings on the 7950 XTX, don't you think that matches a certain graphics card? Like the 9070 XT? That kind of had me wondering if I was going to match some of the specs. You guys can go do that if you wish, but Video Cards has the specs for the 7950 XTX and match it against the 9070 XT. Clock settings look about the same. So, Has there anything special been they pulled out of their booty hole? Nothing. They haven't pulled one thing in the last 4 years, even longer. AMD has not pulled absolutely nothing out off of the chain. Nothing that's going to conquer the fact of the best gaming card in the world. They talk about it and they talk a big game, but it never follows through. So, never follows through. You guys think that 9070 XT is the best in the world? It's not. Because it's got a little bit of more ray tracing. Oh my God, it still can't beat. Guess what? NVIDIA's ray tracing. It's got a little bit more rasterization than NVIDIA. But NVIDIA is still a content creating, video gaming powerhouse. Does machine learning on the same graphics card to do business, machine learning, gaming, content creating, live streaming, all in one. Now let's go to see what AMD has on their plate. Content creating sucks. The gaming's okay. Machine learning, it struggles. Because there's not really that much that's built for AMD and its machine learning. So, and for business, it's okay. So you can weigh the difference between the two and see that NVIDIA is taking the crown again. I don't need a GPU to learn. I know, but some people do, bro. Some people do. You know, some people do. Look, I'm just balancing it for all over the world, my friend. I'm balancing it for all over the world of what people are using it for. But, you know, I'm just saying for all over the world when it comes to the end of the day. So let's see. Guess what's right at the top? 5090s. Epic 8 overclock triple fan 32 gigabyte GDR7 5.0. $21.99, $2,200. 5070 Ti, $750. $750 overclocked. PNY. $5070, $550. Nothing's changed. Ugly ass card, $700. I don't like the way that looks. 5070 Ti, $800. 5090. 2 PCs, three PCs for one graphics card. Oh my God. 5080. You can buy 2 PCs. with one graphics card. And if that's the case, for $1,200, you could probably do it. 2 low budget PCs. And I guarantee you can use 9070 XT 16 gigabytes, 2 of them, for $380. And a light platform, and still meet the quota of $1,200 for 2 PCs with 16 gigabyte of VRAM cards. That matches right there. Just keep that in mind. I'm just throwing it out there. I'm just throwing it out there. Guys, I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to bring you to the main screen for a moment. Okay. You see this here? This right here is $300. Except for the graphics card. The platform right here, with the fans, well, actually, 125, 145, and with the fans, $150 for this right here. So you have $150 right here, and then you have $150 you can put into your PSU in your case, which you can do. So that's $300. So $680. You can build yourself a whole PC. How about that? Ain't that something? Low budget, will last a long time kind of PC. I run that on Linux, and I play Steam on Linux. I could imagine putting that 9060 XT 16 gigabyte on that platform right there and running it on Linux. I bet you that would get some sweet numbers. I don't need the Adrenaline software. I don't need the NVIDIA software, just the drivers, which comes equipped with Linux. And then when you get into the game, you can put all your settings in. The settings haven't changed. What you got on Windows, you can get them on Linux. The settings don't change in the game display. That's what I'm trying to tell you. They don't change. You can still use the same display settings, either from Linux or Windows. Ain't that something? But Linux runs lightweight. I mean, Windows runs 4.7 gigabytes of VRAM at idle. Now Linux runs 1.6 gigabytes of VRAM or system RAM at idle. So that means it has nothing running in the background. That means it's right there one-to-one, bare boned, just with the drivers. And that's it, nothing else. You can rip everything you don't like about it out, but still get it down to at least between 1.4 gigabytes of system RAM to 1.6. I got 32 gigs of ECC memory, error correction controlling memory, And I still game with it. And it runs great with 32 gigs. I can slap any graphics card I want on there. On that $150 platform. And still have a decent gameplay. At any time. And still enjoy it. Back to the action screen, guys. Oh. So, getting back to it, I'm just telling you how, you know, and yeah, I might be running a Xeon processor, a server grade processor. It's $2,500 when it was first came out, but is only $10 on the market. So for $10 for that CPU now, compared to when I bought that was about a year or so ago, compared to now, where you can buy that motherboard and that CPU for less than $50. And if you add the RAM, probably $70. But still, it's gonna rock. It's gonna do what you want to do. I mean, if I spent $80 on the CPU, the motherboard, and the RAM, hands down, now I got to spend $50 on an SSD that goes onto this motherboard, NVMe SSD. $50. That basically, that's 9/10 of your PC, and then add a graphics card to it, and still spend less than $700. And it games like a monster. You guys do the math. I've already gamed on this with Cyberpunk. Okay, come on. I've already gamed on this with Cyberpunk on Linux. And I think it was Proton 7 or something like that. Yeah, you can't get all the games, but I have played Cyberpunk 2077 on this potato with 50 FPS, 50 to 60 FPS, no stuttering, no artifacting, and enjoying the whole damn thing. I enjoyed playing on that. That was interesting. I never seen that kind of level, getting that kind of level of performance on a potato that's getting close to equal to my 4070. Yeah, you might say, well, the 7600's not equal to the 4070. But overall, in gameplay, as long as I wasn't getting stuttering or artifacting, I could care less what the FPS is. Really. As long as my gameplay was great, the FPS has no bearing. It's enjoying the game. Don't you guys get it? It's enjoying the game. And if you can't enjoy the game, then you need to find a game you can enjoy. Worrying about buying a $22,000, $3,000, $1,300 graphics card, you really don't need it to have a great gameplay. It's how you set it up. It's how you balance things inside of your system, how you balance it. And if you balance it precisely, you can get the most awesome gameplay that you want. Everybody's on this binge of, Oh, I gotta have 4K. Oh, I gotta have 1440p. Yeah, and stress the hell out of your GPU, stress the hell out of your motherboard, stress the hell out of your CPU, because you're trying to do something that a high-end graphics card's trying to do on a low-end graphics card, which is not going to work. It's common sense. It is common sense. But I'll tell you what, I still play 1080p on my 4070. I enjoy it. I play 1080p on that graphics card that a machine gave to me for the channel, the 7600, RX 7600. I think it plays great on the potato. I have no problem with it. It's just people in their utmost stupid opinions about when it comes to a graphics card or it comes to a CPU and everything else. And they're like, well, I don't like the performance. Well, then don't watch. Go to somebody else's channel. This channel here is to give the people that can't afford a lot, to give them more than what they expect. This is to help the consumer. And it's not to help the high-end motherload of people that's only in the 5% league. These are the people that work hard for their money. These are the people that come to my channel, that work hard every day at their jobs to get advice, not to get criticized over what they use. I'll tell you what, you can put shit in front of me and I'll make it run. When it comes to a PC, I can make it run. And that's what everybody wants to know. If they get a used PC, what can they do with it? Depends. I don't know what they're buying as a PC, but the standard, you can make it run. I got PCs here that are DDR3 that I can still game on Second Life with. That got 4 gigabytes of VRAM. I can still game with that because they can accept Physics X. Every one of them. So, that's the whole point. Look, guys, I don't care what anybody else says. You can listen to whoever you want, then you can go over there and listen to them. But I'm going to tell you the bottom line. I can break down any system, and I can build it back up from scratch, and I can turn around and twist and tweak every little thing inside that system and make it run so good, you would think it would be a brand new PC. I got many PCs here that I could twist and tweak and make them run just as good with having no problem whatsoever. So, you want to take and listen to those ones that are out there just saying, oh, we can do this, we can do that. I go and look on their channel. They ain't got nothing there. They're just nothing but a troll. So if you come to troll my channel, don't. Do not troll my channel, because you will lose trying to troll me. So, but anyway, I like all my subscribers, and I'm trying to get to 800. At least I could say every one of my subscribers I earned honestly. Means I didn't do any clickbaity kind of shit on my channel to get them. I did hard work giving them the right deal to get their PCs running correctly. Ask any one of them on Discord that join my Discord. They will tell you. I do what I do to help them make it better. And if I can't, I'll go look for the answer. I'll work for that answer. So, it is what it is, isn't it? If you like ultra graphics, then you will need to get at least a $600 card. True. But even now, I'm going to quote you on this. Even a $600 card on some of the games still can't play shit. Can't play at all. Still have a hard time and they struggle on Ultra. A $600 card. Why? Is because these manufacturers put mostly all the good performance in the high-priced cards. They put it all up in the high-priced. So, now the $600 cards, they ain't worth nothing. Now, back the last generation, you might get one or two that are good. But now, you got to spend $2,000 for it. Or you got to spend $800 for it. To get that cherry-picked card that's going to run good. But, truthfully, this new generation, it's not sinking its teeth into me. It's not giving me that level of confidence that I can tell you guys it's worth it. I don't have that level of confidence to tell you guys it's worth it. I was hoping it was going to be a great generation, but after everybody out there you guys know what I mean, talking so much smack and crap about all these cards, how bad they are and everything else, I come to the conclusion, maybe it's not the cards. And I thought about this. Maybe it's not the cards. Maybe it's the user. Maybe it's the user of the cards. That's why they're crap. Let that sink in. Maybe it's the user of the card that makes it look like crap. Makes you wonder now, doesn't it? Makes you wonder if you're doing the settings correctly. Makes you wonder if you're balancing it right. This is a little test for you. Go take an 8 GB card, balance it, get it to run correctly, get decent graphics on it, and keep the FPS at a standard of 60. Don't worry about the 1% lows. Don't worry about the 0.01% lows. Just worry about the average. Start there. And if you can get that graphics card to have no hesitations, no stuttering, no artifacting, and have a decent gameplay, just with that average FPS, you'll see something a little bit different. You'll start to see what I see. I'm not worried about the 1% lows. Why would I be worried about it? Maybe because I don't have my graphics card set right. Maybe that's the reason why I got too much latency. I see people running 30 to 35% latency. Which, when I'm running latency, I'm running it in between 6%, from 6 to 20%. And I'm seeing, well, 6 to 18%. But they're running in the 70s to the 80s on latency. And you wonder why. You really do. Maybe if you see it a little bit differently, instead of trying to be the super tech, just average FPS, balance everything out, get it to run smooth, and have a gameplay, run it for 3 to 4 hours at that setting. And when you get to the end, then you're going to know the verdict. If you got it well balanced from the beginning to the end, will be the same game play. No, nothing will shift or change. It'll run evenly from beginning to the end. My system runs the same from the beginning to the end. Never changes. I don't need it to wish-wash like a washing machine. I don't need it to stutter at the end, or stutter in the beginning, or stutter in the middle. I don't need it to go up and down and all over the place. I need one balanced line. I need one set flat line. And you can make the latency go really small. And just have the latency between your monitor and your GPU, your keyboard, your mouse, between that and your CPU and your RAM. You're going to have those latencies. So you add it up. You got 1 millisecond of latency between your monitor and your GPU. You got 1 millisecond, just on a basic average, guys. 1 millisecond on your keyboard, 1 millisecond on your mouse. You got 1 millisecond between your CPU and your system RAM, or let's say 5 milliseconds between that and your system RAM. So you add it all up. Add it all up. It's going to become 6 to 7 milliseconds at the start. At the start. And then after that, you got your latency for your game. And that's where it starts. Something new to learn. So you take your system latency, you add it into the beginning, and then you start the game latency right there. So you minimize the game latency, and you try to minimize the latency on your mouse and keyboard, and try to make it run at a higher frequency, which you can do. You can run your mouse and keyboard at a higher frequency to lower the latency. You know, but one thing you do forget, on the internet, between your router that plugs into the internet and your PC, between the network card and your router, there's latency there. Now the latency going from your router through the internet to the company and their cloud for their game, you got more latency there. So add up all the latency. You got a lot of latency until you start minimizing and narrowing it down. Your internet, you could have the fastest in the world, but you can have the shittiest latency ever, just to be honest with you. So I know you like the 7900 XT, bro. And it's 20 gigabytes of VRAM. I know you like it. That's all good. I understand that. But it's too close to call between the Super, the 4070 Super, and the 7900 XT. Well, how about this? It's too close to call between the 7900 XT and the 4070 Ti. Too close to call between the two. So, but here's the deal. Running the 7900 XT and the 4070 Super on the same system, you're right. It is too close to call. Because you're actually truly running it on the same platform. So now it's too close to call. Now you're seeing what I'm talking about between the 4070, my 4070, and the 7800 XT on the same platform, and it's too close to call. It's within 0.5% between those two on my platform. Within 0.5%. Because you got to remember what CPU you're running with this. So your CPU now becomes the deciding factor of the two graphics cards. Your CPU becomes the deciding factor between your two graphics cards. No joke. So, now you know. You change your CPU and your motherboard, and you go up to the 800B, the B850 series, and you plug in let's say a 9700X, which is a step up from the 7700X, then you'll see the FPS go up to the next level. But on the same platform between the two graphics cards, still going to be too hard to call. Even if you get 20 to 40 FPS more for the two of them going up to the next CPU, that's about what you're getting. 20 to 40 FPS. From the jump from the 7700X to the 9700X, 20 to 40 FPS more. Same graphics card, different motherboard, different processor. And you could even use the same RAM, the same system RAM, and still get that bump for the performance. Or you can do yourself a favor and speed it up a little bit for them and go from 5200 megahertz to 6000 megahertz and keep the standard at the sweet spot of 6000 megahertz. Everybody says microtransfers. I say megahertz. I'm old school. We say megahertz, it's megahertz. So you'll still get a bump as long as the cast latency falls below 30 on that 6000 megahertz RAM. If it falls at 28 instead of 30, that 28 is going to be a better deciding factor. Better deciding factor. Because those 2 points could turn into 8% faster timings compared to going from 28 to 30. Could be 8% in between the two. Could be 4%. It could be 2%. Depends on the PC you put together with the platform. That's the deciding factor. That's why it's so hard to judge what you're running on your PC compared to what I'm running on my PC. That's the deciding factor. How you put your parts together is the deciding factor. Everybody thinks, oh, it's all plug and play. You're full of it. It's not all plug and play. It's called balancing to make everything run without having any latency in between point A and point B. Point A is all the information coming in. Point B is all the information going out. If you don't balance between the two, it's going to clash. It's going to cause you stuttering. See, that's the thing when I watch a lot of different reviewers do their testing and their benchmarking, and them saying, oh, it's stuttering, and they show you stutters and everything else on the game, but they don't tell you, do they tell you that they do it on purpose to make the card look bad? See, if one new card comes out, and you can see this and use your mind, when one new card comes out, all the rest look bad. Except for the high end. Because those are the quick sales. See what I'm saying? Medium and low end looks like crap. And then you got the new card that rises above the other cards they keep saying is crap. But not the high end. Because that card will never exceed the high end. But it gets close. And everybody's like, ooh, I gotta have that. And then you just been tricked. You just been tricked into somebody else's juice. Somebody that gives you that extra juice. You could be thinking that you're getting Minute Maid orange juice, and you're turning around, you're getting generic store-bought. And you just don't know it. Just like with the 9070 XT. I'm not bashing on it. Even though they're using the cheap chips to put it together, they don't tell you. They're still using those cheap-ass chips they've been using all these years. That's the reason why they didn't go up to GDR7, because they're still making money off of those cheap crap chips they've been selling off to everybody for years. The ones that GDR6 that get between 18, what is it, 18 gigabits per second to 20 gigabits per second? Or no, 16 gigabits per second to 19 gigabytes per second. Some say 20. They can say whatever. But GDR6X is 21 gigabits per second. 21 to 24. This is where everybody gets it wrong. So, you got 16 to 20. You got 21 to 24. Right? Now, you got 24 to 28, I think. 24 to 28. See, it goes up in scales, guys. You know, you just got to measure the scales. But I could tell you right now on the scales that people do not look at. My card will still rock no matter what. See, the 4070 is now sitting in the class of the 60 series. My 4070 is now sitting in the 60 class of the 50 series. Supposedly. But it's actually not. It's sitting in between the 60 and the 70 series. The reason why? They're filling in the spots because the more cards they have out there, the more they're going to make. It's income. It's a direct income source. Why do you think these AIV partners build like 10, 12, 15 of the same cards? Because it's a money source. They throw them out there. Somebody's going to want it. It's nothing but a money source. Okay? The more sources they got out there, the more money they make. That's how they make their money. Is by putting as much out there as they can for income. These companies will never go broke as long as they got people that are wanting to pay the money for these items. So being a gamer, we're stuck with the crap. We just have to understand, why are they giving us crap? Why are they giving us a higher price for crap? Why is the 9070 XT in the higher end, and they claim it's in the higher end, when AMD said they're mid-range and low end, and that's where they're staying? Why did they all of a sudden change the game? Because they were losing money? Because people were complaining that they weren't being in the high end? That they didn't do the low, the medium, and the high end? That they're not in the game? They trying to make themselves look good because Nvidia's charging higher prices? Because there's no competition in the high end? Is that the reason why that they're playing in the high end? To get Nvidia to lower their prices? Is this the reason why? That's what everybody's complaining about? Common sense, guys. Common sense. So, VRAM is the major thing for me for some games, Machine says. Hey, I understand that. It's for everybody's got the same problem. Me, on the other hand, I can survive for the next 5 years on 12 gigabytes of VRAM. I can survive off of it. I don't need to worry about spending hundreds to thousands of dollars on things I don't actually need, for games that I don't actually play. Spending hundreds and thousands of dollars on games that look like crap. Not doing it anymore. What I am doing is I am trying to get you guys to subscribe if you haven't already. So hit that subscribe button. Keep me motivated. You guys want me to do more live streams and you want me to make more videos, you got to keep me motivated. More subscribers I get, the more motivation I get to get me right on top of my game. You guys motivate me. That's the reason why I do my channel. You guys motivate me. So keep me motivated. Subscribe today. All right. But like I said, you know, when it comes to Micro Center, when it comes to Newegg, when it comes to Amazonian, I'm gonna put it like this. If you got a budget, take your budget, put it on the line and say, okay, break it into all the pieces. All the pieces. Going from all the pieces that you need to build your system, which is the motherboard, the CPU, the system RAM, the CPU cooler. Did I say the CPU? Yeah, I think I said the CPU. Yeah. The CPU and the CPU cooler. You know, your PSU, Don't forget your SSDs, because you're going to need more than one. You're probably going to need 3 SSDs. Reason why I say that, with your SSD, you need one for the operating system, you need one as a scratch drive, and you need one for your games. You say, why a scratch drive? Well, if you want to do content creating or anything else, or if you want to save pictures and stuff like that, you need a scratch drive to store all your things on. Or you can get it what they call a skiff drive. I call it a skiff drive, which is a server grade hard drive that's bulletproof to put down in the basement to store your pictures and everything else, so you can keep it all there. And you can get one that's 25 terabytes to store your pictures, your videos, and the whole 900 yards for the next 5 years. 25 terabytes in actuality on making 5-minute videos will last you, 25 terabytes will last you 5 years. I got 16 terabytes. And I'm on my 3rd year. And I still got 12 terabytes left. Figure that one out. I don't know what you guys are thinking. Figure it out. Figure out how I got 16 terabytes and I got 12 left. Now I used 4 terabytes in almost 3 years. And I saved every one of my videos too. Figure it out. Doesn't seem possible, but it is. Hey Dakota, good to see you, my friend. Good to see you. Welcome to the live stream. Welcome, my friend. Welcome to the live stream. Woo, Lordy. It's getting hot up in here today. I noticed the temperatures are getting roasting out. I had an itch on my foot, but I noticed the temperatures are roasting out there today. I mean, seriously, I had to keep the AC on in the car. Now that I got a car with AC, thank God. Thank God. I had to keep the car on, and after an hour, I burned about 1/8 of a tank of gas. Just keep the AC on. I'm happy with that. But yeah, it's a Ford Focus. I know you guys are going to say it. Oh, Jay, why do you got a Ford Focus, man? Get something with a bigger engine. I know you guys are saying that. But you only can get, if it was, look, it was donated to me to help out me friend in their travels to Los Angeles. So I drive it. It's licensed to me. The title, everything is all licensed to me. But if my friend ever gets their license, the car goes back to them. I'm not claiming it, but it's nice to have. I'm just the driver. Just saying. Just saying. I mean, guys, let's see how, I'm going to tell you that. We're going to do this. Okay. I'm going to show you guys something you ain't never seen before. Okay. We're going to show you something. We got six people on. We have 86 views. That means 86 people. 86 people clicked on and clicked off. 86. Why? Am I that bad of a person? You don't enjoy everything I'm doing? I want to know why this 86 right here clicked away. I really do. So leave your comment if you're going to click away. If you're going to come on, if you're going to click on my video, if you're going to click on my live stream, at least explain to me why you're clicking away. So that way there's no hard feelings and I can understand why you're clicking away. Because I don't understand this. I have so many people putting views, but they're not subscribing. Why? Is it so hard that you can leave the notifications on, you can turn them off, but at least subscribe. It doesn't hurt anything. It just sits on YouTube. Even if you turn the notifications off, it helps out the channel, at least. Gives you a chance to say, okay, well, I'm going to go back and see what this guy's got cooking. And I could have some good information in there for you. You just let it pass by. You didn't want to subscribe. You just let it pass by. So, I encourage all my members, all my subscribers, to tell their friends to come down and help us grow this channel. It's not hard. I mean, I watch different reviewers, right? They got hundreds of thousands of people, right? But I look at some of the things that they're doing, and I say to myself, this is old news. This is stuff that this went back 5-6 years ago. You know. What's new news? What's old news? What's good? What's bad? What do you guys want to know? Why do you think I do my live streams? I invite everybody to these live streams. I invite everybody to live streams. What do you want to know? I have over 3 decades of experience. What do you want to know? What do you want to know? What's back in the 80s to now? What do you want to know? Would you want to know how to balance your system out? What do you want to know? Do you wonder why I used low-end stuff all the time? Just ask. I'm going to tell you. It's simple. Excellent price. There it is. Price to performance. Excellent price. I get the level of performance I want at the price I want. Even if I spend $360 on a 9060 XT 16 gigabyte and I plug it into the dinosaur that I got here and I go on Linux and I do the same thing like the 7600 XT, and it gives me, at the same settings, it gives me double the FPS, then I don't have to turn on frame generation. It's not needed. So, you see the point now. If you could double and triple your FPS without having to use frame generation, just running it at medium settings, Not high settings, not ultra settings, medium settings, right in the middle of the bridge. Balance everything out, medium settings. This way you don't have a lot of foliage, and this way you don't have too less of foliage. You have it right in the middle of the foliage. Or the PhysX, depending on the game you play. Medium settings are not bad. Not bad at all. Mostly any game will play on medium settings. Mostly any game. And you can even do dynamic screen resolution on medium settings. And go from 1080p to 4K and change the resolution to 4K. All it does is it makes the pixels tighter. On a 1080p monitor, it makes it tighter. What's wrong with that? So, it's a balancing game, guys. How you want to play your game. I use dynamic screen resolution because it gives me lower latency, and I can run at 4K and use less CPU, giving me more GPU, pushing the standards for my GPU. And also too, it's at medium settings. And I'm out of water. Right now I'm just enjoying the ice, I guess. See, it's not hard, guys. I'm trying to give you a pattern of how you can start with your CPU, your motherboard, and all that. Guys, I got a dinosaur that's sitting right over here. Oh, over there. I got a dinosaur. But it still will game on Steam. I've already proved that in quite a few live streams. I don't need to prove anything. I mean, that dinosaur has a M.2 NVMe drive. Runs at a decent setting. A 2011 motherboard. LGA 2011 motherboard. A Xeon processor. And I run it with that 7600. No problem. I bet you I can run this with the 9060 XT 16 gigabyte. Since I use more rasterization than ray tracing when it comes to gaming. So I bet you I can get better performance out of that card by running it on Linux, which uses half the resources. Half as less as Windows would use. Well, about a third, I would say. From my testing, about a third. And it runs the GPUs just great with the CPU and everything else. And I don't have a lot of heat coming off of it neither. And I'm enjoying playing Cyberpunk and Control and all, all the games I picked. Do you see the point now? I want you to sleep on this, and I want you to think about this. The question is, can I take a PCIe 5.0 next generation card and put it on a PCIe 3.0 system and make it run? That 7600 is PCIe 4.0. But I put it on the PCIe 3.0 and it works just fine. So I want you guys to sleep on it, think about it, you know. And next time we have a stream, I want you guys to come back and tell me what your final thoughts are about it. Because there's people out there that are running PCIe 3.0 x16 platforms. And they really want to know, can you actually run a 5.0 x16 backwards compatible GPU on a 3.0 x16 and still get a level of performance that's going to be just as close as good to a 9800 X3D? People want to know. Look, I'm not looking to push my GPU into oblivion and over stress it with the big CPU. A lot of people can't afford it. So I put myself in their shoes and I tell you like this. If I could take a 2016 processor and play on Steam with a decent amount of FPS with no stuttering and no artifacting, I don't see a problem with it. I don't see a problem with the RTX 9060 XT 16 gigabyte running on a potato. I really don't see it. I don't see a problem. Because you always got to remember that one graphics card in the future, if you decide to upgrade your platform to the next level, it's ready. It'll carry you over for a couple more years after that. See, let's say the 9060 XT 16 gigabyte carries you 5 years on a potato, and then you upgrade your platform. It's going to take you up another 3 years. Why not? It's not like you're going to change your games anytime soon. See, you can buy 100 games, and out of the 100 games, you can only play, let's say you only play 4 out of that 100 games you just bought. You only play 4. But you base most of your time on one game. So you're only going to be playing one game. That's where your time's going to be based upon, because that's where your interest is because of that one game. And your level of performance is not going to change once you see it for the first time. And you get a well-balanced system to play that game, so your performance is not going to change unless the developers decide to change stuff in the game. That's when your performance changes. But anyway, guys, I just wanted you guys to keep that in mind. Seriously. And my 2 hours for this evening with you guys is kind of completed. So, keep this in mind. When somebody tells you that your platform is a garbage potato, you look at them and say, but I bet you I can make it run faster than yours. And they're like, how so? You see, their curiosity is like how you can make your potato run faster than their high-end system. So everybody can go buy high-end, but I guarantee when it comes to the end of the day, you can go on the market and buy a bunch of used stuff and make it run like it's high end. Now, the platform I'm on is the AM4 platform, but it was the high-end model of the AM4 platform. I know it's not the X570, but it's still the high-end motherboard that they used for the AM4 platform. So when I go up to the AM5 platform, and the high-end side of the AM5 is dropped down low because AM6 has a new platform, or AM7, and that makes that the high end. So the price comes down on the AM5 for the high end of that platform. So then I see the price down way low. I go and grab those high-end products because I look at all the past benchmarks, and I learned a lot from the past benchmarks from everybody out on the inner boob. So I learned myself that I could take what they call a potato and make it into my gold, and make it run faster and balanced, because the benchmarks are already out there, and it's not hard to do. It's all common sense, guys. You can pick up last generation high end, and they're selling it for pennies on the dollar. Some people are selling it high, some people are selling it low. But if you look in the right markets, you'll find high-end parts for very, very cheap. So, keep that in mind. But anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed the live stream. I enjoyed with you guys. You guys look like you probably fell asleep or whatever the case is. If you did, I understand because it is late. But if you made it to the end of the live stream and you're watching it later on down the road on the replay, make sure you leave a comment on the live stream that you've watched it and you've enjoyed it, that it was very interesting. But anyway, if you made it to the end, and we appreciate you, and I always appreciate my subscribers, my viewers, even if they don't subscribe, I still appreciate you watching my videos. I really do. I appreciate everybody. I don't have a hard heart. I have a soft heart. I don't have a hard heart. I don't have the best of evils. I can't be evil. But I can get out there and spectate. So, since I'm spectating at the end, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Hit the like button. Don't forget about the notification bell. If you don't want to put it on, it's understandable. If you do, it's understandable. That's your choice. But help us out and hit the subscribe button. And if you want to become a supporter of the channel, hit the join button. Every little bit helps, and we're trying to work towards getting greatness, like everybody that's out in the PC world that's in the greatness. We're trying to get to the greatness. That's right, MTBK. Until the next time and the next video or live stream, we will see you on the next one. Take care, guys. I'll be on Discord. So catch me there. Peace.